Hi, today we're going to talk about how to do the assessment for Module 7, Lesson 2. So again, we always start by going into the classroom. You will not see whatever it says unpublished, although of course I will have this Module 7 published by the time you're looking at it. We don't do the pretest, so you will never see that. My screen's a little bit different. So we're in Lesson 2. I have a separate video about the notes, taking notes for Lesson 2. So this one is going to be focused on the lesson itself. The assessment itself. So whenever you do the assessments, I need you to use these templates. Some people are not using them and they don't do as well. Right? I'm making it easier for you, so please use it. Now you're going to get this frowny face and it's going to say refuse to connect, but you're going to ignore that. You can either click here or you can just click on these blue words and it'll get you to this screen where it says make a copy. And guess what? I want you to make a copy. That way everybody's working on their own individual assignment and this is yours now. So to make it yours, you're going to put your name in here, right? So let's pretend this is Kara Zenith, although I'm not in her site, but so you'd put in your name and that way I'd know it's yours. And you don't really need this copy of, so you could take that because it's now yours. This is not mine anymore. If you need me to see it, if you submit a link for it, which is sometimes the best way, because sometimes the way some of you are submitting it, work gets cut off. Just go share and you'll just put my name in here. Obviously I already have my name in there, but you'll just put my name in there and it'll be done. And then you'll share it with me. I like to be able to comment on it. When you go to the share, well, let's just say I'm putting in Kara Zenith. Okay, so let's say I'm putting in Kara Zenith. It says editor, so that means I can change it. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to comment on it. So at least put in commenter. If you put in viewer, it just makes it harder for me to write my comments and give you the feedback. And the benefit of you having the feedback on that is so that you know what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and so that next time you can do better. Okay, so wherever it's red, you're going to put your name there, right? So you're going to change that, take away the red that I wrote, and you're going to write Kara Zenith. Okay, now the directions are pretty much taken off of the lesson, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But I have changed it a little bit to make it easier for you. First of all, I'm telling you what you have to do. You have to choose 5 ancient Chinese contributions from this lesson. They have to be what you learned about in this lesson. And I'm telling you, there's a big hint. This is going to be on page 7 of Lesson 2, Module 7. Okay? You're going to find an image to go along with each contribution. You're going to cite the source of the image. That's very important for academic integrity. You're going to put the 5 contributions in order, from the least important to the greatest. So you can just move your slides, and I'll show you how to do that, because that might be a little bit hard for you. I think that might, well, I don't know. And then you have to write 3 sentences for each slide on why you chose that contribution and why you chose that order. Now the directions say, don't say to write 3 sentences per slide. The directions in the lesson, and of course if we get back to the lesson, no, that's, oops, wrong thing. So if we go back to the lesson, we're in Lesson 2, okay? We're going right into the lesson itself. And the directions are going to be here on page 9. So the directions say to write a 1 to 2 paragraph explanation that tells why each contribution was chosen and why each contribution was assigned that particular rank. So I thought it would be easier for you to write just 3 sentences on each slide about it, but if you want to follow the directions, absolutely. And I will accept that. 3 sentences per slide, telling you why you think it's the most important one. And I have the slides for you in order, although you can change it around so that it makes sense for you. But if you don't want to do that, here I wrote, the original instructions say write 1 to 2 paragraphs that explain why each contribution was selected and why you gave that rank. If writing 3 sentences per slide explaining the same information is easier, do that instead. Then you can just delete the slide, okay? You'll just go to edit and you'll just delete the slide. Or actually, I think it's on slide. Yeah, you go to slide and it's delete slide. So if you're not going to use this, that's fine. If you don't want to write 3 sentences on each one, and I go on to explain it here, but if you don't want to write 3 sentences on each one, then you can write a paragraph or 2 here, but it has to talk about each of the 5 contributions that you chose, and you also have to tell why you chose it in that order, okay? So then you would just take these slides, right, and you will, and you'll make your picture bigger, okay? So I have space here that you're gonna write your 3 sentences if that's what you choose to do, and you're gonna insert your image here, and you're going to cite the source. So so what I'm saying you should do is go back into the lesson. And do you remember what page I said that your hint is that you're going to use? It's page 7 for the assessment. Okay. So what it says here is, what are some of the contributions of China's many dynasties? You're going to move your. It's easier if I put it. No, I always think that's easier, and it just doesn't do what I want to do to show it all on one screen. You're going to move this to get to the different things, the different ones. Do not just choose these. I'm not going to feel like that's very thoughtful if you only choose these pictures. There's also a list on the side for each dynasty about other things that were chosen. But let's just pretend if you want to use one of these pictures, or use 1 or 2 of these pictures, to get where it comes from, right down here it just says that public domain, okay? The other thing you can do is I'm right-clicking on the photo, and it says copy image address, okay? And then you can put that right in here. You take away my writing, right? And you're going to paste there. And so that's where it came from, okay? You can use what they said at public domain as well. This is probably better, okay? Just the link is fine. Take that away. Another way you could do it is, so what I'd suggest you do actually, what I think is easier, is after you've looked through this, show the text version, because in the text version, and so did you see what I did there? Just make sure you saw what I did there. Oops, sorry, did not go back where I thought it would. Show the text version down here. Just clicked on that. And that way you can just look at all of these contributions of the Ming Dynasty, of the different dynasties. Look at all of them. And I would start with that and choose the 5 that you think are best and most appropriate, right? And then write them down and then put them in order, okay? And here you're doing the order from the least of the 5 to the greatest of the 5. So look through it like noodles. That's kind of, I like noodles, right? I saw that. I cooked on a cast iron today, so I'm going to use cast iron as my number 5. I think I would have noodles in there too, just me. Okay. So one thing you can do is you can do a Google image search for cast iron. But you don't want to just do cast iron. You want to do ancient Chinese cast iron, okay? So that's what I want to do. So I'm going to enter that, right? And I want pictures, because that's what I got. This is just for the pictures, right? So you need to make sure that it comes from that time period, right? So click on that, right? It looks like, it's good if it tells you that it was from that time period. And then right click again, and again, you copy the image address, okay? So I cooked on cast iron today. Maybe I want something I'm more sure. This is from ancient China. So this says its usage in ancient China. So again, you copy, right click, and then copy image address, and then you go back here, and again, you're gonna take away my red writing, and you're gonna paste the image address. So that's how you get it. Another way to get it is to get a picture and the address is to go to insert, okay, image, and I don't have it on my computer already, so I'm going to search the web, and I'm going to go ancient cast iron, right, and I'm going to press enter, and then they show all of these pictures. So let's say I like, oops, I forgot to write Chinese. I want to make sure that it's Chinese. It's like, oh, so you have to be specific if you want that. So we see this other teapot, and you see this little magnifying glass here? It says to preview the image, okay, and then right click on it, and I can copy the image address, okay? And then if I want to insert it, I can click right on there to insert. Okay, now I want to size it down. I think it's easier to write 5 sentences, and then I'm going to make sure that I have the right address in here. I'd copied it, so I should be able to paste it in there, and there it is. You might need to, well, you don't want to go over you have to play with the spacing some, right? So this is a very long address, but you probably don't actually need anything past, well, maybe you do need that. Because if you just put Google in, but I can make it smaller so it fits, okay? If you just put Google as your source site, I won't give you credit for it, because Google is your search engine. It's not a site where you get your information. And then you're going to write, oh, you know what, I need to change this, because I need to write, cast iron. Cast iron is the 5th most important ancient Chinese, and Chinese is a proper noun, so I have to capitalize it, contribution, because. Okay, so I would have my reasons why I thought it was the 5th most important, right? I'd talk about that reason and what it was, why I thought it was important. You can change the box size, you can change your font size, that's pretty big, you don't need it. I am going to change this so that there's a blank line here so that you're actually going to be putting that blank line, oops, I'll fix it in the thing so that you can write cast iron here, okay? And you'd write cast iron. You don't have to choose cast iron. Again, you're going to go to this list and you're going to find the 5 most important ones for you, okay? And if you don't, if you change the order, that's fine. Just make sure you have it on the right slide, okay? Because I have them labeled 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. So if you need to change it, here's the most important one. If you have any questions, just let me know. Always go back and check it against the rubric, right? I'm going to look. Do you have a digital? It says poster, but this slideshow, and I guess maybe I'll fix that. Slideshow that includes 5 contributions from ancient China. Do you have a picture for each one? Did you rank it? And did you include a paragraph, it says, or 3 informative sentences per slide? So I did change that. There's 3 pages to the rubric. This is the apply part. I could not get rid of these 2 little lines here, but down here.